So I've got some thoughts and I absolutely have to share them. You're listening to Oops Spoilers, and this is a bonus episode where I'm going to be sharing some thoughts on Wuthering Heights. A couple people have asked me for my opinion. So, like, first of all, please keep doing that. That makes me feel really good. And then B, obviously, I love sharing my opinion. So I'm about to share my opinion. And I'm like dressed up for the occasion. This corset, this necklace, and like a skirt is what I wore when I went to see it with my friend. She suggested it, and at first I was like, oh, okay, cool. But like I'm super glad we did it. Like I thought we looked cute. And that'll probably be like the graphic for this episode. So yeah, so couple of things. I kind of liked it. It was kind of good. So we're going to start off with that. Before I get into it, I'm going to read you the IMDb like I do every single time. And you can decide if you want to keep listening. Because I'm going to spoil it. I'm going to give my unabridged opinion. Opinion because, and this is like my initial thoughts. These are like my initial thoughts. So I'll probably do this is a bonus episode. So I'll probably do like a regular episode with Elise using our rubric and all that stuff a little bit later. But like, this is just like initial off the jump. I saw it a week ago today, actually, the day I'm recording a week from today. And this is just like thinking about it over the past week and just like some things that have like stayed with me. This is just what I'm thinking. Okay. So I want you to know my opinion can change later. All right. I want to preference that. Probably won't, but it can. So let me read what this IMDb with the description is. A passionate and tumultuous love story set against the backdrop of the Yorkshire moors, exploring the intense and destructive relationship between Heathcliff and Catherine Earnshaw. All right. If you are like, you know what, Mal, like you sold it, I am going to watch it. And if you have not, and you don't want to be spoiled, like now is the time to get out of here. Like, oops, spoilers, now's the time to go. If you have already seen it, or if you're like, I'm not going to see it, I just want to know your opinion, keep listening. Okay, so oops, spoilers, I'm giving you time to go ahead and click off. Oops, spoilers, here we go. Okay, so I'm smiling because like, I have decided, like a preference, I like the movie. So I didn't read the book. And I have some friends who are definitely smarter than me, who read the book and like, they're more intellectual about it. They did not like it. I loved it. Sorry. I loved it. So, yeah. I'm going to give that preference. Okay, so a couple other overarching things. There is no nudity. Which also makes it interesting because there were sexual, like I said, this is not for kids. There were like sexual innuendo, sexual like references. There are parts where you hear the, like the sounds of sex, but there was no actual nudity. So it is interesting, like how do you rate that? Like once again, I wouldn't have anyone who is honestly, I wouldn't let my high schooler watch it. At college you can do whatever you want, but like once you're college age, like my kid wanted to say I'm not going to cause a hubbub, but like I definitely wouldn't let a high schooler watch it. Middle school, elementary, no, not. I think that's watch what I'm watching and like be a little bit more cautious about that, but also enjoy I was talking to my friend. This is just a side note. Over the last couple of months, I really want to enjoy being creativity and media, and like I just been thinking about like God made us creative, and I wish as Christians, conservatives, whatever you want to call yourself, those people, I wish we could do better at like presenting media that isn't so, I don't know. I think we can do better. And I've just been thinking about that a lot. So I want to be more open-minded, not so open-minded that, your head falls off, but more open-minded about like the things that I'm watching and like thinking a little bit more critically. Like this scene, why did they do that? Was it because there are scenes where it is just no need to TV shows specifically, no reason for this person to be nude. No reason. Now there could be a scene for this person to be nude, and it's a little bit deeper than just like really the housemaid. No reason for us to see her breasts. None. There was a reason for us in this movie to hear Catherine be with herself. Yeah. That there was more purpose for that. And I've been thinking a lot about that, but I still say I appreciate I'm glad we didn't see any breasts or butts or penises. I'm glad. So anyway, backtracking. So from the beginning, it starts off with you hear sounds and it sounds like two people are having sexual relations when actually it's someone being hung, and then he's being hung and he has an erection. And then you hear, I think I'm gonna die in this house. You guys know that song from TikTok, which is like already a jarring like wake up. And it's it's already a jarring like start to the movie. So then that happens, and then we meet Catherine and Heathcliff. Heathcliff is like a poor boy who's Catherine's father, who is an alcoholic gambler, takes in. Catherine and Heathcliff grow up together, and they have like this beautiful relationship where and they have fun and everything. And like there's a part where Catherine's dad is drunk and he's mad, and he ends up beating Heathcliff for Catherine, and she's like, I why did you do this? And he's a kid. Oh, also he's played by the kid from Adolescence. Like, I pray to God Hollywood treats him well, because I cannot wait to see him grow up. An amazing actor. Amazing. So, and then like he's laying and he has like all these lashes from where her father beat him. And he's like, I would do this forever. Like, I'm like smiling because it's like, wow, like the idea like someone would like take a beating for you. Like, oh my gosh. So, and he's like, I would do this forever if it means to protect you. And, you know, she's like smiling, and then they like lay next to each other. And it's just like, it's so beautiful. So then it fast forward to them as adults, Margot Robbie and Jacob Elordi. Jacob Elordi, I've only seen Jacob Elordi in The Kissing Booth. And though that is not the worst movie Netflix has ever produced, it's certainly not the best. But I wasn't familiar with your work. Like, there's just so many scenes, and he's just so like that accent, and then he gets like a hoop ear. Oh, he's just so cute. Okay, so anyways, long story short, I'm gonna try to like speed run it and then like share some thoughts. Okay, so we see them as adults, and then we see that there's this really rich guy who is moving in down the street from them, like 5 miles, right? And this is back in the day where like huge houses, and it's these pillars, and there's all this space, right? So, you know, he's like running. So this guy's moving in, and he's moving in with a girl who is his ward, which I don't know why they just didn't make her his sister. I don't know, it was weird, but it's his ward. So during this time, it seems, because like Catherine's dad, also there's like this maid that's also her friend. It's confusing about them. So Catherine's dad has already taken in 2 people aside from his own daughter, and then this new man that moved down the street, he took in another girl. So it seems like, I mean, hey, it seems pretty pro-life. I'm just joking. But yeah, so everybody's taking in children, which is good thing. So she is like, oh, I should marry him because he's rich, and if he's rich, I can give Heathcliff a chance to become rich, and, you know, saying all this stuff. And Heathcliff's like, what? I want to be with you, essentially. Oh, and then so, you know, there's that, like, is she going to go down, and all this stuff happening? The father's a gambler, drunk. And then there's a part where, now this is crazy. So one of the stable people that works for the father is hooking up with a maid, and Catherine sees it, and she's like, so she's upstairs in the attic, and there's like a hole in the attic, so she's seeing down, and under the attic is like a stable. So she's like watching through the hole, this guy, the Joseph is his name, hook up with this girl, and it's like BDSM. And watching it, my thought was like, wait, is this the first recording of BDSM in written history? Like, are we watching this live? And my friend who read it was like, no, actually, there's no BDSM in the book. But it's like BDSM. And then Heathcliff puts his hand over her mouth and is like kind of on top of her. And it's like trying to get her not to talk, because she's like shocked. She's like, so she's, this is her first time seeing anything like this. So she's like shocked, and she's like, you know, and then he's on top of her, and then, you know, he is a man and that likes her, so then his body react, and it's just like this crazy thing. And then like, so then throughout the movie, one thing it was just like icky, like I don't think I would have done this, but there are like times where you like see, I mean, if you watch the trailer, you kind of see it. There's times where you see like eggs, and like people are playing in the eggs, and there's time where like there's like this slug, like, oh, it's so disgusting, and you don't know it's a slug, and it's like super zoomed in, and then you zoom out, and then you've seen the thing about the bread. It's just it's that part was too much. It was too much, like icky, like, oh, I don't want to see that. So anyway, scene like that happens, and then they go to where she is, and she is with herself. She's being with herself, and then he comes, and then this is disgusting. People in the audience were like into it, but like to me this is he like anyway, actually I'm not going to share, like there's like and it's just like it's so gross to me. Okay, so then she's like, long story short, she's like, I can't be with you. He's like, I want to be with you, one of those things. But she like loves him, like you can tell she loves him, but he's very poor, and you know, during this time women didn't really work, so like she needed someone who was going to take care of her. which I get that, wanting someone that's going to take care of you. So then, okay, so then she decides she's going to go ahead and just like meet the guy. So they go to where the guy is. And what's funny is his ward, Isabel, is she is telling the story of Romeo and Juliet. And the way she tells the story is definitely short story long. And like everybody was laughing, but I was like, honestly, girl, you're doing great. Like that's how I tell a story. And it was supposed to be funny, but like to me, I was like, what's the joke? She's telling the story. So then they see Catherine, so she screams, Catherine falls, she breaks her ankle. So then she ends up staying with him while her ankle is being fixed for like 6 weeks, something like that. And then he proposes to her. And she's not sure if she should be with him or not because she loves Heathcliff, obviously. And you know, they're like, oh, you didn't come see me. He's like, well, you were with da-da-da, you know, all the stuff, right? So it's like cute little banter. And then she is being proposed to, so she talks to Nellie, who is like her servant, but also like her sister friend. It's not, I don't like that relationship. Like, I think to me, like, there should be more lines. But anyway, that's neither here nor there. So she's like telling her, so she's being mean to Nellie. I think I call her Nancy. She's being mean. Her name is Nellie. She's being mean to Nellie. And then she is also asking Nellie for advice, which is so crazy to me. So then Nellie sees Heathcliff there. And he's like, so you're going to marry Edgar? And she's like crying. She's like, yes, I should. I can't marry Heathcliff because he's poor. And like, I need da, right? So then he hears that and then he runs away, right? He gets on a horse and then he like disappears. And then literally if he had stayed for like 5 other minutes, he would have heard her say, but I love him. I need to be with him. I love him. And then, you know, that's low key my least favorite trope, like someone needing to say 5 minutes to like get the truth. So then she runs. So he goes off, and then the next morning she's like, I have to go tell him that I love him. I'm telling him I choose him. I love him. I want to be with him. Oh, I love him. You know, all that stuff. And they're like, girly, he's gone. Like, he is out of here. And she's like, what? So then she essentially waits a year for him, and he never comes back. So then she ends up marrying him. And they go through like this, like a montage of like how it is. And first of all, so this is where I'm going to start talking about like some of the costumes. So one of the critiques is like, it's stuff like a corset you would get from like Lace Maid or Selkie or something like that, as opposed to like, you know, period accurate, which I can see there's a problem, but like I loved it. I love the visuals. I cannot stop thinking about like, it's this like corset she has. It's like, I think it's like cherries on it, and then it's like a red skirt. Like, I think that's so beautiful. Like, her wedding dress was gorgeous. Oh, the veil she had, everything was just so beautiful. Costumes, Chef's kiss, 10 out of 10, loved them. Even some of the stuff they had Isabella in, which is very interesting because they had her in things that made her, like Margot was wearing corsets and like, you know, her breasts were up. She was perky. She looked good. She had her little figure. Whereas they had the other girl, she kind of looked like a little girl. Like, she was wearing like more frilly stuff. Which I thought was interesting. I think it was supposed to show her naivety. So also she's a freak, like mentally and physically. Like, she has a dollhouse, and then she puts like Catherine in the dollhouse, like makes a figure of her, which is kind of weird. But then she like has and then she makes like this picture book with flowers, and then like the flowers are, you know, sexual stuff. At the time I don't think she knew because she's supposed to be naive or whatever. But then she's the other type of freak too. I'll get to that in a second. So, you know, she ends up marrying him, and then he creates this skin room, which listening to other people discuss the book and stuff, like it's a room that's like the color of her skin, and it's supposed to be beautiful. And like, sorry, love it. Like, I love that. Yeah, you think my skin's beautiful and you want to make a room out of it? Love it. So, okay, so she's like with him and everything, then she gets pregnant. Okay, she gets pregnant. And then, I have to tell you, Heathcliff and Catherine, when they were kids, Heathcliff left Catherine on a tree, and he was upset about it. So she got a bunch of eggs and put it under his sheets. So he goes to bed and he sits down and there's like eggs. So that's like their thing, right? So then she gets into bed one night and there's like eggs in her bed. She is just like, I was like, you know, which is, anyway, she is like, oh my God, he's back. Long story short, she sees him. He finally has cut his hair. He has this cute little gold hoop. He has like a gold tooth, which is not attractive to me, but like, I don't know. When Jacob Elordi does it, it kind of is. And he's just like so handsome, and he's so strong. And like, now he's like rich. Nobody knows where he got his money from. And he's back. And he's like, I love you. Oh my God, I forgot to, well, I'll say that later. And he's like, be with me, essentially. That's what he's saying. And she's like, I'm mad and everything. And he's like, well, why does that matter? So they have this whole thing, and then that's where the where they, you know, go back and forth for a little bit about like, I'm married, I can't. And then he comes to dinner and Isabella, the sweet little innocent girl, finds him attractive. So then something happens, they get caught in the rain, and that's where he says the line like, kiss me and then we'll both be damned forever. And I was just like, ah! Which no, obviously I don't condone, you know, stepping out on your marriage. But he should like, anyway, so you know, they kiss and then it's like, so then they're in this like whirlwind relationship. They're like loving each other and like it's just so cute. And then in the between that time, the father dies. It's really sad. And then she's pregnant, and the husband eventually finds out. And then Nellie goes meddling again, and da da da. Okay, so that's happened. Like you guys got to see it. Like so, then here's where it gets a little crazy. It just gets crazy. So they're making out and they're in love and everything. And then Heathcliff said that he'd kill for her. And for whatever reason, Kathy's like, wait, what? And he's like, I would kill for you, like if you need me to. And she's like, okay, this isn't right. Like I shouldn't be doing this. Like that was her line. Don't know why, but that was her line. She's like, I shouldn't be doing this, you know, saying all this stuff. And he's like, wait, what? And she's like, we're done. She's like, we're done. Okay. Time passed. Then one day he crawls through the window into Isabella. Remember, sweet innocent girl Isabella, into her room. And he's like, have you ever done anything like this before? And she's like, shaking her head. And he's like, do you want me to continue? And she's like, yes, I want to marry you. I will not love you. I want to make Catherine as uncomfortable as possible. Do you want me to continue? She's like, yes. It's like literally like the most insane thing. It's like, but it gets crazier. But like, it's really insane. He's like, I'm going to be using you. I need your money, and we're going to live down the street in Wuthering Heights. Are you okay with it? Do you consent? I'll say this. He's a consenting. He asked for consent. The whole time, he has asked for consent. And she's like, yes. Right. So then they go and get married. Okay. So then, you know, Catherine's like upset and she's like crying. And the husband's like, get a hold of yourself. Like, who cares if, like, you're my wife? And then we find out something happens and, like, it's not good for the baby. And she's like, the baby's dead. And they're like, oh, okay, whatever. Like, they're thinking she's dramatic. And there is a part where, like, she's like, Nellie, I feel like you love seeing me cry. And then Nellie is like, not as much as you like seeing yourself cry. Okay. So then Nellie is like, well, you guys are acting crazy. Let me go get Isabella from Heathcliff. She goes to get Isabella from Heathcliff. And let me tell the absolute most insane thing that like I've ever seen in a movie. Like I was speechless. Isabella is on all fours in a dog collar. And like, first of all, Nellie knocks on the door and you hear her barking. And then Heathcliff is like, stop. Like, calm down. We have a guest, something like that. And then you go in, there's no dog. It is Isabella, like the sweet innocent girl, a freak. She's like on all fours, and Nellie's like scandalized. I am a girl from 2026. I'm scandalized. And she's like on the floor, she's like barking, and like there's a part where this was just like, okay, this is great. She winks at the camera. Like she likes it. And I'm just like, oh, okay, so they're both freaks and they match each other. Like that's why they're kind of a good match. You know, obviously Heathcliff and Kathy should be together, but like they're both the same type of freak because like her winking was like, oh, okay, so she's consenting. She likes this. I mean, she consented. Like we knew it at the beginning, but like I don't think I knew it. And she like winks. And it's like, oh, okay, she's a freak. She's a freak. In both sense of the words. So Nellie's like, okay, you guys are crazy, and just like leaves. Okay. So then Kathy just can't get out of bed and she's crying. And one day Nellie's like, no, I told you, you need to get up and get out of this bed. And she's like, I can't. And she like laughs. She's gone sepsis because if a baby dies in your womb, they have to get the fetus out. They have to get like the baby out, or like you could go sepsis and die. And that's essentially what happened. She ends up dying, and then Heathcliff has no idea. So then the last wish that Kathy had is to like, oh my god, I'm gonna cry, is to go tell Heathcliff that she's dying. So then Heathcliff gets on a horse and is like trying to get there in time for her to die. And like her last thoughts are like, of him there, and like he says something like, "Oh, you always say that you're going to die. I don't believe this." And like she's like, imagine, because she's dying, she's imagining him with her, and then he doesn't get there in time, and then she's dead, and then like he's crying, and like at the end, like I'm crying. I mean, I wasn't like sobbing, like I've sobbed, I wasn't like sobbing, but I was like crying because like it was emotional, and like you want them to be together. They're both like, to me, like one of the ways to get me to cry or to get me to be upset about a movie is like when two people want to be together and they can't. Like that is just, honestly, in real life too, like when you meet people and like they tell you about like a love that they have, it just isn't there anymore. They're not with that person anymore. It's sad. Okay. So anyway, so yeah, that's how it ends. Like and I didn't expect, like I was like, oh, there has to be more. That's it. Like he doesn't get there in time, and she's dead. And then do like a montage of them as children up until now, and it's sad. It's a good movie, but it's sad. So okay, moving forward, let's talk about some other aspects of the movie. Like I said, costume was good, music was good. Charlie XCX girl, okay, you did good. That Chains of Love, Chef's Kiss, the score throughout the entire movie was good. Like I said, there's some zoom in, some like sexual innuendo stuff that I was not about. Like that slug, like yuck. There is this part where they're like talking and they're like arguing or something, and like he picks Kathy up by like the strings in her corset, and it's just, and he, oh god, it's just like, whoa, like that was hot. Like I've never seen anything like that before. Like I was like, oh my god, that's really, that must have felt nice to be a part of. New like weight loss motivation, like to be picked up by your corset by a strong man, like wow. And there was multiple times he like picked her up and threw her over his shoulder, like hot. Once again, weight loss motivation. Let me think what else. I addressed that. That was hot. Jacob Elordi's hot. Wow, I almost called her Margaret Qualley, not Margaret Qualley. Oh my god, why am I blanking on her name? Barbie, Kathy. She is very beautiful. Wow, I'm literally Margot Robbie. Wow, that was crazy. I don't know why that happened. Margot Robbie, beautiful, and I think she did a fantastic job. Once again, as someone who did not read the book, I think from what the information in front of it, I think it was really great. So here are some things that I learned from friends and then listening to the lecture afterwards. So the book, first of all, Heathcliff was brown skinned, so he could have been black or Indian, I think is what, or Romani, which Jacob Elordi is not. That was one of the things. Kathy and Heathcliff were younger. Apparently Heathcliff is supposed to be like this big abuser, and it wasn't given abuse because once again, the times we saw him like acting like a little crazy out there, girl winked. She was okay with it. It wasn't given abuse. So that was one of the things they were saying. Like, it was kind of interesting that the director, writer, whoever who did this Wuthering Heights, she also did quotes. It was interesting that she wanted us to have sympathy for him, because I certainly did. And yeah, those are some of the things that people were saying were different. Once again, as someone who just saw it for what it was, I enjoyed it. I feel weird for saying that. So let's talk. I'm not going to give it a score. I think if I do this with Elise, I'll give it a score because this is a bonus episode. Like, you go with your own, because like, once again, like the story was interesting. Oh, I know the other thing I was going to say. I'm not quite sure the message. That is one thing, I've been thinking about it for a week. I'm not quite sure what we were supposed to take away from this. Was it that sometimes love hurts? Sometimes you're gonna love someone and you can't be with them? Acting crazy can lose you the girl? Don't marry someone who is still in love with their ex? Like, I'm not quite sure what the message was. And I don't know if there was a message, to be honest. I think this was more of like a vibes type of movie. And there's always room for vibes type of movies. Yeah. I'm not quite sure the message, but I enjoyed it. Yeah. I think if you're gonna watch it, just be ready. Like, there are sexual innuendos. There is no nudity. I cried at the end. There's a lot of like I'm telling you, the costumes, the jewelry. Oh my god, the jewelry. Once again, like, I loved everything. Like, I actually, when we were, my friend and I were leaving, I was like, I'm really glad that I wore this. Like, we dressed up, and I would wear this. Maybe not this exact one. I really want another one. I would wear like corset, like in a skirt thing again to something. Like, I like that, and I think it's a beautiful. I mean, she looked beautiful. What they did her hair and everything. So yeah, That is my review. These are my unfiltered thoughts. Once again, if I do a full one with Elise, it might be a little different with some time and more information. I'm saying that because, like, yeah, anyway. But yeah, takeaways, Jacob Elordi is hot. You know, be like, if your heart loves someone, I want to say be with them because that's what they tell you in books and movies, but like, I don't know. But whatever, I will say this: if your heart loves someone and you choose someone else, like, you need to always choose that other person. Actually, don't. Or, oh my God, I can't believe I didn't think of this. Or just don't be with anyone. Like, if your heart loves someone else, don't be with someone else. If you can't be with that person, then just don't be with anyone. Maybe that's the message. I don't know. Anyway, that's spoilers. Let me know. This is a bonus episode. It's just me chatting away. Let me know what you think.